The last one I have is out of the First Circuit, Diaz Valdez v. Garland, out on November 22nd. Not going to get into it all. I mean, the non-citizen's attorney on a BIA appeal were 1 day late, which is always horrible.
Yeah.
And so the BIA said they missed their deadline on the notice of appeal. But the thing is they apparently used, next day FedEx delivery sent like 4 days before the deadline.
Ooh, what a
Now,
nightmare.
in between that, I think was 3 days of weekend and a holiday. So not great. Don't get me wrong. And so it arrived 1 day late, but it was next day. And like two things there. First, the First Circuit is saying, look, you get 30 days to appeal. And of course, you can't wait 30 days if it's in the mail, but like, because you got to send it. But like, the 30 days is there for a reason. This isn't a footnote from this decision. Like the non-citizen doesn't have to. They don't have to file on day two. Like you have to consider whether you want to appeal. You know what I mean? That's the point of the 30 days. So keep that in mind with the diligence concerns. But this one, it was essentially a factual dispute. Did they send it when they said they did? And they provided a lot of evidence, that is, the attorneys, that they sent it 4 days ahead of time by overnight mail. And the First Circuit said there's enough evidence here. The BIA should have accepted this, essentially. But I really like this quote. Quote, well, first of all, I'm sorry, let me step back. The BIA itself, in their decision matter of Morales, said, like, you should use overnight FedEx or UPS or DHL. And so that's what they did here. So when you're doing that and the BIA says you should do that, like,
Yeah.
you should excuse them. But the quote that I'm looking for, give me 1 second,
Sure.
which I just love, and I put it on my social medias as well, is, and I need to get the good quote right. Here it is. Quote, importantly, an attorney's representation to a court that they sent a filing on a certain date is generally accepted as sufficient to establish the date of mailing. Courts around the country routinely rely on such representations. End quote. And it would appear not even an affidavit form, just like the attorney in their filing saying, I sent it on this date. Now, you're an officer of the court, the First Circuit is saying. Generally, that's accept. We're officers of the court. I mean, use that power wisely. Quite frankly, it's best practice to put it in an affidavit. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But like, that's a big quote for anything, really,
Yeah.
when what the attorney did is important. Here is the First Circuit saying correctly, like, we're all attorneys. What attorneys say, like, we all have an oath. We all have a responsibility of candor and honesty. So
Very cool.
important
That's good.
stuff.
It's reasonable. Being reasonable. That's good.